'Cause I'm taking the world, you'll see. They'll be calling me, calling me. They'll be calling me royalty. Best to give me loyalty. 'Cause I'm taking the world, you'll see. They'll be calling me, calling me. They'll be calling me royalty.
Hello guys, so today I want to make a video on M3gan. Basically one of the first movies I've seen of this year, even though I'm not sure if this came out last year in America, because it just came out not long ago in the UK. And I wanted to see if it was any good, because the trailers kind of made me think like, this movie might be alright, maybe not better than any of the Chucky movies, well maybe some of them, because some of them are pretty bad. But yeah, it might be just a good watch, you know, nothing brilliant, but fun, and it actually was fun, yeah. It's a enjoyable movie. I'd say if you're a Chucky fan, definitely check it out. But or just a horror fan in general, yeah, I think you can get some kind of enjoyment out of this movie. I'd even say if you don't really stand the Chucky movies, I'd still recommend this movie. You might still like it, since it is a bit different from Chucky a little bit, but it's definitely got the similarities, you know, which I'll get into. But yeah, I really enjoyed this film. So basically the story is there's basically a girl who loses her parents, so she has to stay with her niece, who seems like she doesn't even care about, I mean her auntie, who, you know, the niece doesn't, I feel like I'm getting that bit a bit mixed up, but basically the one who looks after her acts like she doesn't even care about her, but then she ends up making a robot that actually does the job that she fails to do, yeah, and then it ends up kind of caring too much about her that it just, you know, gets out of hand. And that's basically the whole movie, because it kind of goes around killing people, which you kind of see from the trailers, but obviously they don't show anything. But yeah, it's an interesting concept where I guess the main character kind of makes the fit of the movie, yeah. Kind of like with Age of Ultron, with, you know, Iron Man making Ultron, and how he's kind of responsible for so many deaths in that movie. It's kind of the same with this character named Gemma, who kind of looks after her sister's daughter, because, you know, basically they was in a car crash, and, you know, she's just like, basically her niece is going through trauma, but she's not truly being there for her. She's kind of more focused on work, and you don't really get to see much emotion from her. Not really. It's like, did she even care that her sister died? Like, when I saw that, I was like, what the hell? It's like she didn't even care. Like, what the hell? I couldn't tell if she was a bad actor or she truly didn't really care about anything else other than her work. And as the movie goes on, you kind of see, which I guess I could talk a bit about her character, man, because jeez, man. And then I'll talk about M3gan, like how well they did M3gan and the ones who kind of brought her to life. But yeah, I'm just gonna move on to here. So yeah, Gemma, oh my god, her character was so unlikable. As the main character, unless you want to count Katie as the main character, you know, the little girl who lost her parents, and, you know, being stuck with this person who acts like she doesn't even care about her little niece, who's just going through so much right now. I mean, it seems like she tries at the beginning, but then she just, like, fully focuses on her work, and then she ends up creating something that tries to kill her niece. Well, you know, it does take care of it, but then it kills everything around that might be a threat, even though, you know, it just gets out of hand. Like, why would you create something that's possibly worse than Skynet? Like, what the hell? I don't understand why she would think to create something like that advanced. And she still had her friends who helped her, even though they were saying it was a bad idea. They still helped at the end, so they're kind of responsible too for what happens. Yeah. With M3gan, yeah. Yeah, her character's just so unlikable. Every time she's making me think like she's gonna do the right thing, she ends up doing the one thing. And even when her niece gets hurt by this dog that keeps, you know, disturbing her. I mean, M3gan basically was looking for something for the niece, because she basically lost like her arrow from her bow and arrow toy. It ends up, you know, kind of outside the garden, but when M3gan tries to get it, like, it kind of tries to eat, the dog tries to eat M3gan, and then, you know, then he tries to, you know, get the toy back, but then it gets out of hand, and Denise kind of gets bitten, and that kind of starts a feud with the neighbors, Gemma and her neighbor. Yeah. And then the next day, flipping Megan just kills the dog. Yeah. With its kind of lowing voice thing, because it can basically use anyone's voice, but sometimes you can kind of tell when it's not really an actual human, and you can tell that's not the actual person. Well, the audience can anyway, but I'm not sure what the actual characters here. Yeah. Because sometimes she kind of slips, and you can kind of hear the robot voice in, like the person's voice she's trying to imitate. Yeah. Because she ends up also killing the neighbor, and then when she finally decides to, make Katie see other kids, and go on like some kind of play thing, like there's one boy who kind of, is just an asshole basically, even suing in front of his mum, and then he ends up, bullying Katie, and then you can kind of tell how that goes, like from what you've seen from the trailer. He basically rips off the kid's ears, and then, well, I think it was his left ear or whatever, and then he ends up getting run over, trying to run away from Megan because she starts to run like a dog, which you've seen in the trailer. Yeah. And he ends up getting run over by a car, so it looks like an accident. Yeah. And finally Gemma's starting to notice that there's something wrong with it. So she decides to like pull it out of commission, but she also kind of makes her boss be really intrigued by it, to the point where the boss is saying like it's probably the most advanced thing since automobiles, so this could actually help her career so much. But then I guess she decides to finally get to the point where she's doing the right thing after her niece basically slaps her. Yeah. Because her niece was just like losing it at that point. The only thing she truly cared about was Megan, because Megan was actually the mother who was actually there for her after losing her actual mother. Because Gemma acted like she didn't even care about her niece up until she finally had a proper conversation with her after her niece slapped her. Yeah. Which she did deserve that, even though she didn't want to do that. It's just she wasn't really properly grieving because of, Megan, that kind of thing being around. Yeah. Because it's not like it's proper human, and then it's kind of twisted thoughts. Even though it's a robot, so what can you expect? Of course it's going to end up killing people. I mean, and then it kills her friends. I mean, it kills like 3 or 4 people. It ends up killing Gemma's boss, a guy who was trying to steal the secrets, which could have made this even worse. It could have spread all over. Like, imagine multiple Megans. Jesus. Kind of like with Chucky. Yeah. The cult of Chucky. But yeah. I guess I'll move on to something else anyway. But yeah, the ones who actually brought Megan to life, they definitely did a good job. I guess the little actress who actually was doing the body work, and then the voice of Megan on the right side, yeah, did a pretty good job. Really made a unique doll. Probably the best kind of doll I've seen since Chucky. I mean, you've got Annabelle and stuff, but to me, any of the dolls that I've seen afterwards, they can't really beat Chucky. I mean, obviously there's the Goosebumps one, but I'm talking about for actual horror, like where they actually kill people. Yeah. Like, probably the best since Chucky. I mean, I did really enjoy this movie. It was a blast to watch, but I guess I could kind of compare Chucky and Megan. Yeah. Before I end the video. So yeah, because Chucky's always going to be the best, but just what if these guys actually fought though? Like, who would actually win? Because, well, if you're going towards like the length of both Chucky and Megan, like in their movies, like how long their movies are. I mean, Megan's just had one movie, but I think it was longer than any Chucky movie, so she kind of survived a lot longer. But you actually see Chucky go through so much before they finally put him down. Like, there's like 3 moments in both Child's Play 1 and 2 where it looks like Chucky's dead, but he just keeps coming back, and he's gonna come back anyway. And you've got something like that with Megan by the end of the movie, where Megan goes to basically her creator, but decides to like have some kind of thing where she won't kill her, but then she knows that her master tried to shut her down, Gemma, so she decides to try and kill her. But then that's when Denise helps, because she basically shows her like some, you know, robot that you can use like real steel, and basically beats up M3gan and just rips M3gan apart, but it's kind of still alive after that, and then tries to kill, you know, the one that she was trying to protect the whole movie, calling her a bitch and everything. But then, you know, is it Gemma who kind of gets its head, and then he, you know, takes out the main part to destroy it, but then that's when you know, Denise kind of gets the finishing blow and they finally defeat it. Yeah. So M3gan can go for a lot as well, but Chucky, I feel like he can go for way more before he's fully done. So it's just with I'd say when it comes to like the way how they move, you could say they're more dangerous. I mean, it's basically a robot compared to a doll. The robot might be stronger, and it's definitely fast too, man. Like, you literally see a guy, like basically Gemma's boss is trying to run away, like he's sprinting, but he still gets killed by M3gan. She still catches up, and she can run fast too, man. Like, if Chuck is coming at you, you could just like kick him. It's so small, but Gemma, she could probably have some kind of strength because she's a robot after all, and what she's made up too. Yeah, to me, it seems like she would be more dangerous, but Chucky, he can be a bit more sneaky. Like, you might not see him coming, where with, you know, M3gan, you're seeing something that big coming towards you, you'd be more prepared, and if she gets a bit too close, then you could be done, but you could still have a fighting chance. With Chucky, you can just kick him around and stuff if you know that he's coming after you. Yeah. It kind of depends. So when it comes to like being sneaky, Chucky's more dangerous. But when it comes to like close quarters, you could say M3gan. But yeah, to even compare M3gan to Chucky is already an achievement in itself, because yeah, I really enjoyed this movie, and M3gan was a really entertaining character. Yeah, even though she's a robot, but yeah. And I guess I'll just probably end it here anyway. Yeah, it was a good movie. I recommend it. Yeah, it was pretty good. What would I rate it though? I don't know. I mean, it's nothing brilliant, so like 7 point something, I'm not sure. 7.6? I'm fine with that rating, yeah. It was a good watch. Obviously nothing brilliant, but it was really entertaining, and I'm kind of surprised. Probably better than the last two Chucky movies, even though I enjoyed the reboot. I didn't really like the Cult of Chucky? But yeah, this was a really good movie, yeah. Recommend it. So I'll probably end it here. Appreciate if you can leave a like. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.